obviously I don't expect that your projections are going to be spot on accurate looking 5 years into the future, but just a sense of how big you think that could be, even if you just do, you know, here's what a city looks like at scale, to get a sense of how big are you dreaming on this?
Yep. And why this might be attractive to an MP is how much extra money they might make. It might not sound a lot to us sitting here at Wharton, but to them that would be material.
Right.
$10,000 more after tax every year.
Yep. Okay.
You know, I do think as we talked about a little bit, you can extend the Uber model, you know, pretty far here, whether it's, you know, car type to use Michael's analogy, or, you know, I think after hours you have a big opportunity to jack up the price. I've got 2 little kids, and I'm familiar with rule number 1 of parenting, which is that shit always happens at 4 in the afternoon on a Sunday when nothing is open. So what ends up happening?
2 in the morning. Here's my credit card. Just take it.
Exactly. If you could save me the 3-hour wait sitting in the ER at CHOP at 2 o'clock in the morning, if you want to charge me $500, I wouldn't even blink, because the alternative is that bad. And at the same time, for a lot of these off hours, you know, if it's Sunday afternoon and somebody's got better things to do, or if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, they'd really rather not leave their house, you may have to implement some of that stuff to get the NPs to go do it.
Right.
But I think that's actually a really good analogy for this business. I'd recommend that you continue using that.
So content-wise, did you mention market size?
Yeah, very briefly.
It's
It was,
yeah.
I mean, a breakout of, we have, you know, urgent care and retail, which we compete across all retail, all urgent care except for radiology, and then certain portions of primary and very much so less emergency care, obviously. But there are 40% of ER visits. It's hard to get the exact breakdown. 40% of ER visits, and many of these are low income.
Yeah.
That should not be in the ER, and then are driving very much excess costs in the system.
Yeah, I think it would be a better story to tell on the market size, talking about specific cases. For example, how many emergency, child fevers are happening every year, and then you accumulate all these cases and build up to a market number. I think for us, it's easier to digest because those are solid cases.
Right, as opposed to the top-down model which you're using, which is, this is all the cost of going to the ER, and this is all the cost of going to the regular doctor. Well, you're not going to be replacing all of that stuff. So focus on the cases that you are replacing, and you can build a more believable, but still, I'm guessing, very large market size.
Yeah.
And technique-wise, I think slides are a little bit text-heavy. I know, for startups, usually slides both act as a business plan, the slides, a brainstorming tool. It's hard to build a separate slide for a presentation.
Right.
But, if you could build a Steve Jobs style kind of slides, it's better. Also, I think a little bit you're overpriced. You do very well in the live Q&A session, but then because you practice so much with that, you're so fluent with all the script, it comes a little stiff. It will just be better presentation. You just forget about it a little bit and then just try to interact with the audience. Right?
Yeah.
So having seen you in the convention pitch session, this was better.
Okay. I also, on the fly,
I like the first time, I like
so
the second
Grant
time.
got sick today, and he normally does half the day. And so
Yeah, so you're seeing
on the
podcasts
fly a
and
little
doing
bit today.